Alrighty, guys. Welcome. Happy Columbus Day. Let me see. Columbus Day, which is also known as, why do we stop celebrating it? So so in the years following Berkeley's action, other local governments and institutions have either renamed or canceled Columbus Day, either to celebrate Native American history and cultures to avoid celebrating Columbus and the European colonization of the Americas, or due to raise controversy over the legacy of Columbus. I know I'm not against that. The dude, it's kind of wild if you think about it. Dude comes here, starts just killing all the Native Americans, enslaving them, and then we celebrate them. So that's one thing that America would be like, hey man, we probably shouldn't do that. We should probably change, and we should probably fix that. We probably shouldn't celebrate someone who just kills a shit ton of Native Americans. I just cursed. This video would not do well. This podcast would not do well because I just cursed within the first minute of the podcast. So today on the Michael Lab Show, which, by the way, I am a full-blown narcissist. I'm just kidding. No, but I was having a conversation with a really close friend of mine, and we were... let's just say that because I don't want to give away anything. But yeah, we were having a conversation about, just a lot of things. BLM. This gentleman is an African American, and we were just talking about BLM movement. We were talking about sensitivity in the world. We were talking about things not having context. We were also talking about real estate. We're just talking about a lot of things. And what was I gonna say? I can't remember. They said he said something about he said something that made me go like, this person is so narcissist that they put like their name on something, and then I turned to my left and my girl's looking at me like, hey, your podcast is the Michael Lab Show. Not even like Michael Lab Show, but like you are the object. And I was like, damn. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right again. And when you're right, you're right. And when you're right, she has, when someone's right, you just gotta bow your head and be like, yep, you beat me. I was wrong. And that's okay. And then you just gotta move on without any grudges and just be like, you beat me to the punch. And that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday, October 12th. We're almost halfway done with October. Like, I'm not almost done with school, but I have like 2 months left, 70 days left of school. And it's like, it's wild. I just made my last school payment. So I'm done with school, like in terms of like finances, which is like the only thing that matters in school. Like, that's the hardest part about school is making the payments. Everything else is like easy. Like, you can't fail out of college. You stop going to college, or you just drop out of college. You don't fail out of college. Like when from elementary to middle school to high school to college, they were like, oh, you have, there's always a potential that you could do so bad, or like if you don't try hard enough, you won't do well. But I don't see that anybody I know who like doesn't do well in school, it's because they're not doing the necessary things to be good in school. That's just how it works. And that's not a bad thing. You have different priorities. My first go around with school, I had different priorities. I had a urge to start a business. I did that. I had an urge to be anti-establishment. I did that. And I paid for it, and I literally paid for it. But so yeah, we're almost, it's crazy. I'm very excited to just be a working man. Like, I've always worked, but I've always I haven't lived up to my earning potential, and that's because I don't have a degree. I don't bring anything to the table. Maybe objectively speaking, if it was just off of me and there was no college degree, I think I would, bring a lot to the table. But in the world of business, in the corporate world, you have to have certain things, and this is called maturation in a person. Me 3 years ago would have said, F that, F the system. I'm better than them, even though they have a degree, but also, to get through the door, you need to have certain things, and I didn't have those certain things, and I'm learning, and I've learned, and now I'm going to have this certain thing, and I'm going to maximize my earning potential. So this shirt I feel like I'm a pillow, and this is a pillowcase whenever I wear this shirt. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this fine Tuesday. What do I want to talk about today? There's so many things. I've wrote so many cool things down on my my little note section here. I'm sweating my ass off. Let me pull it up right here. Where are we at? I got to do I'm doing I'm kind of nervous about it, and I know I shouldn't be. I get nervous. I'm just, just overthinking it, but I have like a PowerPoint thing. I have a presentation I have to do for one of my classes, and it's for social entrepreneurship. So we have to do something that is like a business venture that's like has positive social repercussions, essentially. Like, it's also good for society, which I understand. I understand what they're saying, right? Like, the whole idea that you're doing things to help those less fortunate. I guess that's kind of what it is. Like, social entrepreneurship is I like Bombas. Like, I make socks, and then I give a free pair of socks out for each socks I sell. So you're giving an item away to those less fortunate. In my view, all businesses are social entrepreneurship ventures, because when you start up a business, you're ideally hiring somebody who didn't have a job or had a job that was not paying them good enough. So then you hire them, and now they have a job, or they were making more money, and then they can give back to their family. They're a better person in society. So, like, to me, all businesses are social ventures. But this class is more specifically a class on when you start up a business, what issue are you fixing? So I made like a little PowerPoint here. I think it's right here. It's called See ASD. Maybe I can just actually go ahead and do it real quick for you guys. We'll see. All right, so See ASD by Michael Lab. So See Autism Spectrum Disorder. So that's my social venture, is discovering and seeing autism spectrum, is seeing ASD in kids. So what is ASD? Almost set my house on fire. A child who goes so autism is it's a disorder. It's you could describe it as a neurological disorder, a behavior disorder, and it shows itself in many ways. Some ways that are so benign, or that you just get used to, that you may never even you may never even come to think of the child having autism. And there's also a lot of symptoms that have their own disorder, such as ADHD or anxiety or depression. All these are symptoms of autism, but also on their own, they're their own diagnosis. So a child who goes undiagnosed will forever struggle in school, social events, self-worth. So a child who, basically what it says. If a child doesn't get diagnosed early on in life, it will lead to a lifelong of challenges and confusion. Whereas if a child who is misdiagnosed will start looking inwardly to themselves and being like, I'm just different, I'm weird, which is fine, but it's hard when you are different and weird and you don't have an answer for that reason. And then you also have the issue where a family with a child will be confused, feel hopeless, and want real answers. So, a family who has a child who's on the spectrum, who's on the spectrum, and they don't know it, can be very confusing. There can be a lot of internal anger, because you feel like you're doing something wrong, when in reality you're not doing anything wrong. Your child has a neurological disorder or behavior disorder the same way a kid who has Down syndrome has Down syndrome. It's just something they have. I don't know what I'm supposed to put there, so we're gonna have to fix that. The mission statement of the company is education matters, getting people to understand what it is, how to go about dealing or working with somebody who has it when you know they have it. The right information matters. There's a lot of BS out there on autism that all of them are highly, it's super intelligent, that, there's low functioning, high functioning, but it's such a spectrum. There's such a wide variety. Understanding ASD, actually embracing it and learning how to control your emotions when you're around somebody with autism. Diagnosing properly, it's a game changer. And minimizing misdiagnosis matters as well. Trying to keep that level of misdiagnosis very low, which is really hard to do. And especially when you're a young child, there's a lot of, parents go into having a kid, my kid won't have autism. So when you have that mind state, and then your kid, they aren't wearing clothes that are normal, right? They're wearing, super flamboyant pink clothing as a child, or They're never hanging out with other friends. They struggle to make eye contact. They're in speech classes. All these other red flags that are going up. If you already have the mind state that my kid doesn't have autism, and then that's a completely different subject. Why is that an issue? Why can't your kid have autism? So what? So mental health has exploded. That's good for society. But during this explosion of mental health and people paying attention to anxiety and depression, autism spectrum disorder has lagged in this field. People haven't kept up with autism. Children are growing into teenagers aware of the anxieties and may be working on it, but sometimes this could also be coupled with autism spectrum disorder. If you have one tool, it's good to have all the tools. If you're going to build a house, you can have a hammer, but don't you want everything so you can understand yourself better? For families who have a child with autism spectrum disorder, it can be very difficult. Further educating the world on autism spectrum disorder will be a benefit for everyone. So autism spectrum disorder is not fully understood quite as yet. It's actually a newer thing. I think just recently until 1950s, it was actually diagnosed. It actually was a word for it. So it's only been around. It's been around forever, but it's only been known to like the medical literature for like 70, 80 years. More and more of understanding is coming every day. It is global, it is national, it is everywhere, but just in your community alone, there are kids who are being misdiagnosed, not diagnosed due to expenses, or being diagnosed in lack of education. Start local, learn, expand. So what exactly is this venture going to do? It's going to connect local professionals with communities, have conversations in local community centers just about autism. What is it? It's not a bad thing. Normalize it. Make it just a normal conversation. Teach the symptoms. The symptoms are so vast. You can't just pinpoint any specific symptoms, but teach certain symptoms that are commonly seen in kids, teenagers, and adults. So a common thing that you're seeing now, and it's good. There's TV shows like Love on the Spectrum that people can watch. There's certain ways to really interact with people with autism. They're not as sheltered and kicked out of society like they used to be. Teach the symptoms. Teach how to understand people with autism spectrum disorder and what comes with that. I will say, the people I know and I have really personal experience with this, they're the sweet people. You just got to, there's a certain way to talk to them. There's a certain way to listen to them. And if you can, it's the same way, like if you're in a relationship, you just really got to hit the nail on the head. And if you can hit the nail on the head, so it's going to be the best relationship you've ever had. Teach at local schools. It isn't weird to see a kid stemming. It is normal. That's just an example. Kids with autism, they stem sometimes when they're overwhelmed, overly anxious, to overstimulated, stimulated. It's too loud, too noisy. You might see them going like this, or hitting, shaking the head, whatever it is. That's okay. That's normal. They're coping. They're probably coping better than most people in this room would cope. Most people don't know how to cope when they're stressed. They just let it build up inside of them. Kids with autism actually are doing something about it. And then finally, you can bring in autism spectrum disorder experts and have them explain the cutting edge technology and research on the field. Just teach, learn, and educate. So that was use you guys as practice. I know that's not why you guys wanted to come here, but that's why I do the podcast, because it's not about what you want. It's about what I want. It's about what I want. This is all about me. Right there is my little thing right there. No humility on this podcast, just straight up narcissism. Have me a cup of pumpkin spice coffee. It is 8:30 in the morning. That's why I'm drinking coffee. Normally Mondays I do my podcast around this time. Girlfriend gets coffee with her father, then does her own thing, and then I try to do a podcast between now and then I have school. So I have school at 2. Takes me between an hour and a half to get to school, so I leave at 12. And then I have class at 5, and I'm out of school by 6:15. So like Mondays and Wednesdays are my quote unquote productive days. Tuesday and Thursdays are my long days. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm out of the house by 7 a.m. at the latest. If I can leave my house at 6:50, that's ideal, because there's 10 minutes of traffic. I also think I've decided what I want to do. I think I want to work remotely. Like, there's so many jobs on LinkedIn, and I just applied for Calm. So Calm is much they get paid. I should probably look this up. Calm mid-level associate. Is that what I applied for? I don't know. Damn it. I should know what I applied for. They're watching this. Let's see. Engineer. Nope, not that. Products. Maybe it was that. Program manager. Was it that? I think it was that. Program manager. Product manager. I think that was like 90,000. I don't know. It's definitely not that much. But I applied for Calm. You know, I've been looking at, there's a lot of remote positions available, and it would be nice to work something like that. Something where I can work from my computer, which is ideal for me. Somewhere I can travel, which is awesome. Maybe go out like Gabby and Brian. Just kidding. That's a joke. All the crazy women are gonna have to be like, "What are you talking about? She was murdered brutally." I'm like, I know, it's a joke, man. It's a joke, dude. It's funny. It's funny. It's okay to laugh at things that are not supposed to be funny. Like Ari Shaffir when he tweeted out that Kobe tweet. That was cold, man. When I saw that, I was a fan of Ari Shaffir at the time. I wasn't as big of a fan as I am now, but I was definitely a fan. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, like in the world of comedy, it seems like the timing means everything, right? And in his defense, his timing was right when it happened. You can get it's like if you're gonna punch somebody, you can get the best punch in when they're not expecting it, and that's what he did. He punched the world in the face when they weren't expecting it, when they were just starting to mourn Kobe, where they were still like not believing it, and he comes in with this like. Let me see what it is. Ari Shaffir. I think that's like the first thing that comes up for him too, which, you know, that's fine. That's what he does. He's a Kobe Bryant comedian now, but it really actually blew him up though. Where's that tweet? Where is that tweet? Here it is. Okay, here we go. January 26, 2020. Kobe Bryant put out a tweet. This is not me. This is Kobe Bryant. He said, Kobe Bryant died 23 years too late today. He got away with rape because of the Hollywood liberals who attack comedy, enjoy rooting for the Lakers more than they dislike rape. Big ups to the hero who forgot to gas up his chopper. I hate the Lakers. What a great day. Oh my God. See, like, that is so, like, it's just so aggressive, man. You put it out way too quick. Who tweeted about it? Like, who was pissed off about it? I'm sure there's a lot of people. What's happening today is tragic. I'm heartbroken for Kobe's family. That's not what it was. All right, did anyone say anything back to him? There's only a few lines I won't cross. This is one. Fed Smoker was a great man. That's hilarious. Anyways, I don't know. I just thought that was important to talk about autism. A few more other things I wanted to kind of get out real quick with. Today is, I'm recording this on Monday, so the market is fresh this week, and it is looking to be a okay week. It's been good. It's been good. At least crypto's been good. Stock markets haven't been good. There's a lot, you can find if you're doing any research or if you're trying to come to a solution or anything, you can find evidence to support your case anywhere. And that's politics, it's business, that's in this case finances, specifically the stock market. You can find evidence both sides speaking on where we're right now about to hit a really hard bear cycle, where the market's about to crash. And then you can also find people who say, no, we're in a bull market. Like it's just the beginning. Like it's just the beginning. And, this week is going to be, I think this week is a super pivotal week in the sense that banks are reporting quarter three earnings, which is obviously super important. The banks kind of control the market. They're the ones who give out money, right? So if they reported good earnings, that means they've been giving out a lot of money. And if you've been giving out a lot of money, that means a lot of people are taking loans. And when people are taking loans, that means people are buying things, right? Like if I take another loan out, it's because I'm buying a car. If I take a loan out, it's because I'm buying a house. If I'm taking a loan out, it's because I'm starting a business. So when banks do well, the world typically does well as also. So this week, all three major banks are all Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. or no, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all banks are reporting their earnings. Morgan Stanley, Citibank, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. All the major banks are reporting this week. So it's a pivotal week. And then next week we're having, I think Big Tech is reporting next week. Tesla, Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, Facebook. Those guys. So it's, we'll see. I don't think they're going to report. I don't think they're going to beat any expectations. I think all the numbers are going to be low, but I don't think that's what the market's going to care about. In my opinion, that's to be expected, right? Like there's this weird sense in the market nowadays where we freak out about like the supply chain. But since we have social media, like the supply chain has been weak. That's where a lot of the issues are stemming from. Is we're not able to get packages to houses on times. We're not able to ship out enough. Things are being delayed. When things are being delayed, that costs more for businesses. And when it costs more for businesses, prices of the products go up. And when the prices of the products go up, employee numbers go down or they have to hire less employees. So it's definitely an issue, right? Supply chain is the most important issue. And it's not just the most important issue. It's also one of those things where without the supply chain, you have no progress. Like you have no progress. Like everything from gas. Like gas prices are so high right now, so that affects everything. That affects shipping costs. And shipping costs, businesses will usually put back on the employee, or not the employees, but the customers. So the customers have to pay more. And when the customers are getting paid, when they have to pay more, they are going to end up eventually, maybe not that month, but 2 or 3 months from now, when they're doing the debt to income ratio, which nobody does anymore. But if let's say they do that, they realize, oh, they're not getting paid more. They have to pay 5% more, but they're not getting paid 5% more, But then when that catches up, when the new year comes around, and then they do get a 5%, 7% increase in their wages, then the businesses have to probably cut employees to pay for that, or even bump up products higher. So you can see like supply chains are so valuable. They're so valuable. They're so important. But they don't get enough love, and they've been off the rocker. But here's the one thing I can say about at least the American economy. It's capitalistic driven, right? And there's a lot of people screaming about socialist this, socialist that, but there's a lot of social issues, like being a socialist. Socialism is not a economy. Communism mixed with Marxism is an economy. Socialism, in my opinion, does not involve anything to do with the economy. It involves everything to do with human interaction with each other. We can be as socialist as we want. I don't care. I honestly don't care. But here's one thing that won't ever change. And one thing I think people think is going to change is this idea of capitalism. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away when we just had a president who was a billionaire. We have a president now who's a multi-millionaire. We have capitalists who run the country. Capitalists run the world. Amazon, Apple, Facebook, they have all the information. They're more powerful than the government. Way more powerful. Mark Zuckerberg is the president. Like Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook, they have all the power. And that's just, that's not even an opinion. That's just facts. They know everything about me better than I know myself. And that's why I buy from Amazon, because they suggest things that they think I might like, that I know I might like, that they line up what I've purchased in the past with the weather outside and like, oh, it's wintertime. He hasn't bought sweatpants in about 250 days. That means winter must be right around the corner. So it's like, and the other thing I wanted to mention real quick was this thing going on with SouthWest Airlines. And this is fascinating. I want to get this as right as I can. So SouthWest Airlines had over 1,000 Sunday cancelizations for their plane flights. And here's the thing with ideologies, and here's the thing why progress is never made, because the ideologies, the more you expand them, they immediately start contradicting each other. And this is the basic issue with all ideologies, is if you pull them out far enough, they contradict each other. The Catholic faith, you pull that out long enough, you can only deny people's sexuality for so long. And what eventually happens is people are gay, people are born gay, people are gay, and they're repressed their entire life, and they have sex with underage boys times thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. You know, you can say these rules, but when you put these rules in applications, they break down. That's just what happens. So when you have people who are saying we need to mandate vaccines, okay, that's fine. If that's what you say, and you're a private business, you can do that, right? I'm not going to. Do I think you should? No, but is that your constitutional right? Absolutely. Yeah, if you're a private business, do what you want to do. Mandate vaccines. But at the same time, what's going to happen when that happens is you're going to have people, and Karl Marx said it, the people make up the business, right? The people who work for them should get paid the most. That's the basic idea of communism, of Marxism. And when the people don't decide to work, your mandates are going to get changed. Because if you can't push a product, if you can't push a service, and people won't buy, won't sell your service, and then they can't use it, what's going to happen is you don't have a business anymore. And that's what you're seeing with SouthWest Airlines. Over 1,000 canceling airplane flights because people are refusing to get the vaccine. And it's not even about the vaccine. It's about forcing you to get the vaccine. So if you actually believe in this Marxist socialist viewpoint, you shouldn't have to force people to get the vaccine because the people are right and the people don't want this. And that's a clear-cut contradiction in my opinion. You want the people to make their own decisions. And if they don't, you force them. But then if you don't have a product, you don't have anything. You can't force somebody. If you're gonna hang someone's job over their head, and that's what you're gonna use to make them get the vaccine, and they turn around, put the middle finger to you and say, "No, fuck you, we're not gonna do that," then what do you have? You have nothing. You have nothing. What is Amazon without Amazon drivers? Nothing. What is Apple? Well, that's different. A lot of companies. But yeah, what is Amazon without Amazon drivers? Nothing right now, but they're going to use them until they can actually get, they can probably get away with robotic drivers right now. We'll see. Who knows? But that's an issue, man. You know, that's an issue. And I think that's a clear-cut contradiction. I think people will come to realize that. And I think you're going to see this is the beginning of the end for a lot of these vaccine mandates. I mean, the world's tired of COVID, you know, and, you know, I'm tired of it too, but I understand it's a disease and it's not going anywhere. You know, the COVID cases steady climbing in the world, but like in this country, they're pretty much dead at this point. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And we had 23,000 cases yesterday, and it's just been going down. You know, 66% of the country's vaccinated. Like, we're done. We're over. And you just got to let people deal with it. You know, if you don't want to get vaccinated, you could die if you get it. And there's in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Fauci's telling us to go enjoy Halloween. Thanks, Fauci. If it wasn't for you, buddy, I would not be going. The power that people feel right now. It's like your opinion. I don't listen to your opinion at all. Never have. Like, not once. I was actually listening to what Fauci was saying. It's crazy. I don't know. And go out right now. Like, people wearing masks. People are fine. We know how to deal with this shit. It's like the news makes everything so crazy. They're the reason why we all hate each other. Humans don't hate each other. I've met the most left wing. So I guess even borderline socialists. Fine. The people are fine. They're not bad people. They just have their own opinions. They have their own thought process, and that's fine. That's your thought process. I'm not gonna sit here and judge it. Do I disagree with it? Yeah, maybe. But also, I don't care. You know, and like the news has pinned us up against each other. Like, you should hate these people. It's like, nah, dude. Like, I know so many immigrants who cross this border illegally, and they're savages, dude. I could never do it. I'm a bitch, bro. I wouldn't be able to get across the border. Like, but they did. They're savages. They deserve to be here more than I do. Like, what am I? I was just born because two people made me. I don't deserve to be here. Not at all. They do. Like my buddies who've crossed the border, they deserve to be here more than I do. They've walked across here, literally across the rivers. Nothing but respect for them. And if our people can't stop them, in my opinion, Darwinism won. If the Border Patrol can't stop them, come on over here. That's an L for us. That's a win for you. You get my vote. Let them vote. I don't care. Who cares? Let them vote. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah. The voice behind Biden's falling polls. What is this about? Google News is so fascinating. Democrats are ringing alarm bells and coming to the simplest of conclusions. It's the pandemic, stupid. All 9 participants from Tuesday's session gave Biden's C grades a lower, and their answers circled back to a similar point. The pandemic, in the many ways it continues to hinder normal life, is souring the view of Biden. One woman said that she wanted to buy a car, but supply chain issues were delaying new shipments to the dealerships. A man complained about understaffed restaurants. There is malice, said Sarah Longwell, a moderate Republican strategist who became a vocal supporter of Biden in 2020 and led the focus group of Democrat voters. People don't feel like their lives have been improved. They did sort of feel like promises aren't being kept, and no shit, promises are never kept. And if you're a dumbass to actually think that promises are kept, then you're at fault here, not President Biden. You're the dummy who still thinks and still needs people to promise you things because you're too lazy to actually go out there and make a change for your own life. Nearly 9 months into office, Biden and his team contend that the ravages of the pandemic are starting to recede due to his actions. They point to polling showing strong supporters for his legislative agenda, anchored by fiscal infrastructure and social and climate spending packages. No one cares about climate change, and nobody cares about infrastructure when they can't get a job. So we should probably fix that first. They note how rare it's been for Democratic lawmakers to break ranks, even during this difficult and current period. But Biden's standing with American has plummeted, with the average approval rating plummeting by nearly 15 points since late June. Holy shit, I didn't know that. He's seen a drop among Democrats and even more with Republicans, but the decline has been particularly steep among independent voters. I voted independent. I didn't vote for Donald Trump, crazy person. I didn't vote for Joe Biden, senior citizen, needs a lot of help. I voted for Joe Jurgensen, and I've said that on not every episode. That'd be crazy. Could you imagine if I just said that? Jurgensen. Could you imagine if I just said that on every single episode? I voted for Joe Jurgensen. No, I voted for Joe Jurgensen. I really like her. I thought she was cool. She wanted to legalize weed and let people out of jail for weed. I was like, hell yeah, you got my vote. She calls it her wake-up call. I agree with you. Does Joe Biden owe his win to Joe Jurgensen? It's from last year. In the same time period, the president has scrambled to salvage his domestic initiatives amid infighting among Democrats over the size and sequencing. He has proceeded over a chaotic and deadly withdrawal from Afghanistan and faced criticism for his response to inhumane treatment of Haitian migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. But it's the pandemic that looms over it all. Yeah, the pandemic is over. Just if he came out tomorrow and said it's over, that's a win. Wear a mask if you want to. Get vaccinated if you want to. They're available, but otherwise, it's over. That's all we got to do. Denmark has done it. Sweden's done it. They've stopped giving out the Moderna vaccine. Like, we're done. We're all done. I'm done. Everyone's mentally checked out. Like, when I got to go to school, and we're all walking around outside, minding our own business, and then when we walk inside, we all got to put a mask on. But if we're independently working, we don't have to wear a mask. Like, these games that we're playing now are just they're just retarded. Like, at this point, it's like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing, man? People are done, man. If you have private conversations with anybody who's like on either side of the spectrum, they're both like, Jesus Christ, I'm done with it. I've got my vaccine. Boosters are out there if you want to get a booster. Like, all the vaccines are out there. At this point, like, just get less fat, be healthy, and you won't die. And if you do die, that's the risk you take. Just like if you're going to sell drugs. If you're going to sell drugs and then you're going to keep going up to become like a drug kingpin, You're just putting your life more and more at risk. You have a higher chance of dying. But you taking that risk, you know that risk. Let's not be dumb here. That's cool. That's awesome. A Navy engineer wife accused of trying to sell nuclear submarine secrets. Good. Awesome. You sound like you had a good one there, buddy. October 10th. Turncoat Navy engineer was bagged by the feds for trying to pass along U.S. nuclear secrets inside half a peanut butter sandwich. Oh my, it's a Maryland person. I love it. Okay, the 42-year-old Maryland suspect found himself in a jam. Nice pun. Like what you guys did in New York Post. When it turned out that the foreign operative he thought he was dealing with was actually an FBI agent. Nice. This is so cool. This is so good to know that our men and women are giving away nuclear secrets to our enemies. The feds say Jonathan Toby of Annapolis stashed secrets about the country's Virginia-class nuclear-powered attack submarines on a blue plastic-coated SD memory card, then sandwiched the tiny device between two slabs of bread, slathered with peanut butter. The half sandwich was housed inside a plastic bag, the complaint said. Toby was also allegedly used a Band-Aid wrapper and packed a pack of chewing gum to help hide SD cards at another time. Oh, he's done this a lot. That's so cool. That's so neat, man. This guy should run. Toby for president. Yeah, Toby for president. For real, man. He would make drop-offs of material at various locations with his wife, Diana, a 45-year-old teacher, acting as his lookout. I love it. Little Bonnie and Clyde with secrets to the whole country. Channeling his inner John Le Carre, Toby allegedly wrote at one point to his purported foreign contact, "One day when it's safe, perhaps two old friends will have a chance to stumble into each other at a cafe, share a bottle of wine, and laugh over." Oh, this guy's wild. He and his wife were arrested Saturday in Jefferson County, West Virginia, accused by the FBI for violating the Atomic Energy Act. That's so cool. He, all told, the feds shelled out $100K of the cryptocurrency Monroe to Toby to make him believe they were a foreign government paying for the class. Oh, that's cool. Our government's using the crypto that they take from us to then pay to Toby. Shout out to America. Shout out. The package contained the Fed's espionage investigation began in December 2020 when FBI officials received packages that has allegedly been sent by Toby to unidentified foreign country. The package contained Navy documents and instructions on using encrypted communications while expressing a desire by Toby to an unidentified foreign country. The package contained Navy documents and instructions on using encrypted communications while expressing a desire by the sender to begin a covert relationship. Please forward this letter to your military intelligence agency. I believe the information will be great value to your nation. This is not a hoax, said a note inside the package. Oh, this guy looks crazy. Do I know this guy? I wonder if I know this guy. He's from Annapolis. I could easily know him. Jonathan Toby. After verifying and validating of the confidential information, FBI agents posing as spies from the foreign country began communicating by email with Toby. After several email exchanges, Toby allegedly wrote in March that he would provide the documents in return for cryptocurrency payments. My man's trying to get in that crypto game. You shouldn't do it the right way, though, man. You should do it in the right way. Buy it on Robinhood. All the memory cards contain information about the design of Virginia-class nuclear submarines. The couple was busted when they showed up at a dead drop location in West Virginia. The couple is expected to appear in federal court in Martinsburg, West Virginia. It's unknown who's representing the husband and wife. Let's see if I know this guy. Watch him like follow me on Facebook, and then the FBI is listening to this podcast, and they come up to me like, "Hey man, you can't be friends. Like you gotta tell us everything you know about this guy. Like what do you know about this guy?" And I'll be like, "I don't know shit about this dude." Dude, these like stories have been popping up on my my Facebook where it shows me like my podcast from like 2 or 3 years ago. Yo, nothing's changed. Let's see what this guy's about. Jonathan Toby. He's popular now. He was not popular before. That's so funny though. Oh yeah. My dude's from Upland. Last time he posted was 2012. White hot GOP race down to 2 mentally ill people. person who lost nomination last time. That's so funny. So in 2011, new GOP strategy involves re-electing Obama, making his life even more miserable. Mom and Dad, I'm gay and also stronger than both of you, so don't try any shit. From 2011. You can beat up his parents. This is in 2013. Free yourself before God, but so soar tomorrow. Yeah, that dude looks wild. His wife doesn't look much better, though. She looks a little crazy, too, if you ask me. See what she's about. Diane Toby. Nope, that's a Kentucky one. Nope, I don't know. Who the hell knows? Who cares, honestly? People are tripping. They try to get away. They couldn't get away. That's it. I think that's all on my end. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I think I probably bored you guys enough. But yeah, guys, that's episode 233 of the Michael Lab Show. Please like, comment, subscribe. Do what you do. If you like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Just leave. Or you can dislike it. Do what you want to do. Share with friends and family. Guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. I'll catch you guys in episode 234 of the Michael Lab Show. Peace out.